announce the result of the by-election, the Conservative by-election, to elect a hereditary peer in place of Viscount Ridley. 36 noble lords submitted valid ballots, and a notice detailing the results is in the printed paper office and online. The successful candidate was Lord Strathcarron.
My Lords, I wonder if I can just say a word or two about thank the returning officer for his announcement of this another exciting by-election. It's a minimalist announcement that he makes, and I have tried over the years to try and get more detail in the formal announcement, but it is available in the printed paper office. But of course, members of the public who may be watching and interested in this subject, I assume there are one or two somewhere, they can't go to the printed paper office. I note as well, by the way, that the only reference to this on today's order paper is in the smallest possible type. So that hopefully we won't notice. Well, I did notice. I just want to say that, that the clerk, of course, was quite right to say it was a Conservative that won the election. There may, of course, be people watching who take an interest in these things who will be very pleased about that, because, you know, governments go through sticky patches, and this is having one, and they may think a Conservative victory, that's terrific in a by-election. I have to give the facts, which are that the winning candidate was a Conservative, the second candidate was a Conservative, the third on the list was a Conservative, the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8th, 9th, 10. There were 10 candidates, and they were all Conservative. So it was pretty sort of locked down in terms of what might happen. If you add to that, of course, the fact that the electorate, in order to vote, you needed to be a Conservative. I mean, I know what I'm beaten. I mean, that's a game, set, match and tournament, that is. And on the question of the electorate, because, again, this perhaps needs explaining to people outside, the electorate consisted of 45 people. I notice only 36 voted, so, you know, the turnout is slipping. 45 voted, and they are a very privileged group of people, actually, because since these by-elections resumed last June, there have been 8 of them. That is, you know, we have them more frequently, we have by-elections than they do in the Commons. These 45 electors elected 3 peers in June last year, another one now, so that's 45 people have elected 4 members of Parliament, and I think I'm fairly confident in being able to say that in the history of parliamentary democracy, really, never have so many been elected by so few. And the other final comment I'd want to make is that it is traditional in by-elections in this country. There's one pending in Birmingham Erdington at the moment, and it's been the case now for over 100 years that both as candidates and as voters, women play a full part. But as the House knows, in the case of by-elections for hereditary peers here, we don't operate that system, and all the candidates were men. Indeed, all the candidates in all the by-elections held since last June have been men, and in this case, all the electorate are men. So again, it's something of a slam dunk. But I like to end on a bit of good news for the House, and that is that I understand now that there is another by-election pending, following the retirement of Lord Rotherwick. It will be a similar one to the present one, so I'm very wary about making political predictions. But my guess is it will be won by a Conservative. It will be a hereditary peer, and it will be a man. So there's a tip if any of you are going to the bookmakers.
My Lords, consideration of Commons amendments to the Dormant Asset Bill. Lord Parkinson of Whitley Bay.
My Lords, I beg to move that the Commons amendment